Carretto passato e nuovo guidato al 21 del mese i nostri soldi erano già finiti. Io pensavo a mia madre e rivedevo i suoi vestiti. Più bello era nero coi fiori passiti. All'uscita di scuola i ragazzi erano libri. Io restavo guardando cercando il coraggio per lei. It's March 5th, sono tutti fuori iniziare. Tuesday. Nichols. Totally, no, sì, it seems totally clear sky and atmosphere in general. And it's also very still, it seems also very still now. It's really after about 15 minutes, 16 different 16 it means that it's really cold down. Brief, repeating is back on the time. So perhaps I think nobody watch my videos, but for these things for the same adjective called that's a classic adjective. It's an adjective that I use always since winter period, since first weather reports of years ago. But for the period of this year it's not so at all because in this period it doesn't really feel cold at all. In fact, as I remember, whenever in past years at the winter and autumn like this, as well as the summer, it was also last summer was very hot in comparison with the previous. In fact, since 20 years we went at summer like that. And so, in this point of view, for the degrees, at least for me, always nothing to significant and absolutely we can complain, but today, fortunately, seems also the atmosphere. And in fact, briefly on some other things on this. Being ready afternoon, I think, for example, anticipant season, I repeat this just before 16 and 16 census. But the important thing in this atmosphere is anticipate just before the real edition.
dove il mare luccica e tira forte il vento, su una vecchia terrazza davanti al golfo di Sorrento. Un uomo abbraccia una ragazza dopo che aveva pianto, poi si schiarisce la voce e ricomincia il canto.
Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene
E se dicesse ti opening così, metto se clicca da tali clicca metto di se disi so in the way in sime way that pratica in afternoon became always it became always cloudy and so also the dates the case and even if I read 13 and 20 from now I think the dates are going to be end next years quando became in fact totally cloudy. Perhaps also that would dream at 19 sia la stating vabbè da Rose and W ovviamente con Jason su Wizard si penso sì e infatti che ti stracca scrivi quella beat band per mettere al momento così sono mitico quindi il numero che su durante tutte le tue pratiche sono la mia non so se più frequente le bench spot previsibile iniziative di shot
ma quando vide la luna uscire da una nuvola
the Guardian uscito così un'attività manisa Winter, Tool Suit, in Spring Videos, the Guardian Spring at least for the first part of the anni potenza sul sottone shot
Gli occhi verdi come il mare.
and finally from a middle keyboard an AGX 640 APG 625
C'è una casetta piccola così, con tante finestrelle colorate, e una donnina piccola così, con due occhi grandi per guardare. C'è un omino piccolo così, che torna sempre tardi dal lavoro.
no, questi sono due people facendo ricorsi e sarebbe che dingatore il suo brano non esiste assumo scherzo and finally I hope you wanna get a breakfast today it's late but early in comparison with the last video and important that we can always far away from the regular reaction last season but now so to treat with Saturday in fact I made the breakfast if you need then really started to wait if you need and you are close and repeat at the same time for away just only 13 20 Important thing to show us remembers that in some way also today fortunately so I'm really hungry and as I also see breakfast is always small no? Little things left in the world so as tomorrow
Amore mio, è arrivata l'estate. Amore mio, è arrivata l'estate. E noi due qui distesi a far l'amore in mezzo a questo mare di città.